Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals, and welcome to the Fae Realm. We are here on a perfectly normal Tuesday where nothing else is going on, and we're keeping it that way in the chat. Please
We're here
and
because our
thank you.
priorities are in order.
We're here because national anxiety is high and we're getting away from it. So we're just gonna play some D&D and go deal
So I
with
can
problems.
dive right back into a different kind of anxiety.
At least an anxiety that we have direct control over, if only because we know where the person who runs it lives. Adam,
And that person would love it if we just all showed up at his door.
you are muted, dear.
I am. That's probably for the best.
You know, it's that kind of day. But yes, hello everyone. Welcome. We are here to play D&D. As you will see in the pinned comment, we're not talking politics except for the very firm we're not talking politics at the beginning of the stream. And with that, Adam, I will toss it over to you, good sir.
Okay, so last time you arrived in Ikath and you got to know the terrain just a little bit and the area around you, you met a strange masked merchant by the name of Shimu, who was very willing to trade your foodstuffs for great amounts of gold and feel like he was the one that won in the trade. Which immediately, of course, rose questions about what is valued here and why food is so scarce. And as you continued to explore and investigate, it turned out that most of the people in Akath are indeed asleep. And during that sleep, they are busily engaged in the various labors of building, unbuilding, and rebuilding the the vision of the perfect city for their dear empress. Those who walk in the day run the risk of being attacked by vicious Jiangshi and their undead allies, creatures of ancient origin within the boundaries of the Cath. The ancestors of great families, some current, some forgotten, come to wreak havoc and violence against those that dare shirk the duties given to them by their great empress. When people finally awake, they do not know how long they have been asleep, and some even die during the process, suffering from the elements or from starvation. Without work in the real world, of course, resources are becoming increasingly thin. And one of you, Yi-Ling, was knocked unconscious and was forced into the dream world. But thanks to the help of Shimu and your own ingenuity, you were able to retrieve her from the dream world. But now Yi-Ling is the one with the experience of this world, of a parallel, almost different dimension within the dreamscape. Combat ensued with the Jiangshi, and Lin, fearing and filled with her own sense of the unknown and of her own dread, being faced with the truth of her homeland, fled in terror. The party was able to survive as the sun rose and the Jiangshi departed. Eventually, the party caught up with Lin, brought her back, calmed her down, and reassessed what they sought to do. But it is left uncertain whether or not Lin is truly ready. However, she may feel, though, she is chosen by the Raven Queen, as are all of you. We'll see whether or not she was right to do so. So with that, we bring you back to the streets of houses known as the mansions.
Out in these streets. Oh,
One last thing I did forget to mention was that you were told of a gentleman by the name of Master Tang who would be able to perhaps teach you how to forcibly wake oneself from the dream.
And that fellow is in the house with the mill wheel, right? The water wheel.
That's correct.
yeah.
And you saw a cat run in there.
And heard someone talk to the cat, I think.
He did. There was a voice from inside the building that talked to the cat.
Unless it was the cat talking to himself.
I mean, that is always a possibility.
I
Druids
don't
exist.
not like that idea.
Druids exist.
I'm resisting all my instincts to not chase it. That's called character growth, everybody. Yes, it is.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yi-Ling is cradling her new luckstone.
So then you look up at this house and you see the water wheel, hearing it churn. What is going through your mind?
I think you might be muted.
It feels difficult to even take a step forward. She raises her hand and considers knocking on the door, but thinks better of it. She looks to her allies and says, perhaps someone else should greet the master. We wouldn't want to alarm him and think that the custodians have come for him. I'll just be back here.
Disappeared off the map completely. Oh, no, there you are.
Bye.
I like how she's half in the shadow. It's giving me like peeking out, like I'm over here.
Perpetually, yes.
Right.
Drausken kind of inclines his head in the direction of Lynn as he approaches the house. Someone should take a look at her.
I think she is well enough physically. I will just stick close.
It's not her physical status I'm worried about.
Mm.
Lynn, why you run over here? Something wrong.
I mean, look at me.
Look at you. This your home. You should guide us.
It hasn't even been a matter of hours when last you were knuckle deep into one of my making, tearing them limb from limb. I am a Jiangxi. I was risen from the grave by the Empress's sorcery to serve her even in death.
But, Lynn, do the other creatures you are... They don't seem like you.
No, they don't.
So, seem like you different, at least a little bit. That good?
I may not have the opportunity to explain that to the master if I were the one to knock on that door.
Well, small cat went into house. If cat likes it, must be okay. Voice talk to cat.
I think her concern may be that if the master of the house sees her, he will assume that she is one of the ones that we were just fighting and react without speaking first.
Do these creatures usually knock on the door?
What is usual?
What things do most of the time?
This is true, but
Do monsters knock on doors?
sometimes.
Those ones?
I am delighted that you caught my actual meaning under that.
Like, yes, Strahd might knock. His ass is not here.
Well, and also humanoids can sometimes be the greatest monsters. I'm sorry, what?
We're not being political.
That's not political, that's just true. Regardless,
So
the choice is made at this point, and I think we should, address the master of the house as necessary, but it appears that Drausken and Yi-Ling are taking point on that for the moment. Push where you can, but know when to ease off. I say to Lynn, but I don't. But I'm not saying that to the wild.
Kind of quietly
fine.
when
It's
trying to.
fine.
Go ahead.
I think we just, for the moment, need to err on the side of caution.
You say
Okay.
Yi-Ling marches up to the door and knocks.
see,
Is it on this
not
side, Adam?
scary. Boom, boom, boom.
You hear no response after a few moments.
Hello? Is anyone home? We're told you could possibly help us?
And then you hear a faint meow, and then a shh.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Alright, I'm not going to pretend I don't hear that you are in there, but I don't want to break down your door, be mean or rude. If you could help us, that would be very kind of you. Perhaps we can offer you some food in return.
Fine, fine. Come in. Just shut up.
Man,
Persistence.
know the magic word.
Food.
Food.
Ooh, there's a person. There's a token. Zoom in.
Yeah, I don't have the interior space of this building. So
That's
you're
fine.
you're not actually dancing on the rooftops.
Wow, the map game just absolutely lacking here. So painful, so horrible.
Hey, take it up with Chepeku.
Drausken beckons the rest of the group towards the door.
Yi-Ling, waves everyone in as she steps through.
Hurry.
I'll shoulder my way through the door.
Damn fools. Close the
look like
door.
a cat.
Close the door behind you.
Boom. Close the door.
On
Okay, it looks like
Drausken?
looks like
Yeah,
Drausken's
Drausken's
outside.
kind of waiting behind the wild.
Oh.
There we go.
Move your kitty butt.
You are allowed to move through your ally space.
Yeah, but Drausken wants to be the one at the door.
I see. Oh, okay. Yes, well, welcome to my home. I suppose you have good reason for putting all of us in mortal peril.
Yes.
Good morning to you too. You are Master Tang, yes?
Just call me Song. Teng Song. Song is fine.
So, I am Yi-Ling. It's nice to meet you.
Yes. Oh, give me a moment. I'll be right back. He comes back out a little bit later with a
It's
small
gonna start
tray.
the cat.
He puts the tray down. The cat, like, kind of sniffs at it. He's like, not for you. And kind of shoos the cat away. He sets it down, and he sits, and he gestures outwards with his hand for you to sit across from him. Your whole group, really. And he begins to pour tea, and he offers you a very small amount of aged crackers.
Yi-Ling will bring out one of the ration packs and like add that to the fare.
Mm.
And we'll try the tea.
Go ahead. The ancestors be with you or something.
Thank you very much. That actually means a lot to me.
He drinks some as well, just kind of like eyeing all of you.
Is it good tea?
It probably was at some point.
Bit aged. Still.
I'll take a little bit of one of the crackers and snap off one of the corners and like kind of sneakily give it to the kitty.
The cat sniffs it. It kind of nuzzles it until you drop it, and then it smells it again,
interested.
And then it walks away.
Yeah. I've, we've all been there. All right, you ungrateful little turd.
Everyone who has lived with and loved cats understands this one.
Yeah.
That's probably like 80 gold here, but that's fine. You do you, I guess.
Yeah, right. All right, don't say I never did nothing for you.
They say you escaped from the Golden City. They say you can teach us how.
Oh, very blunt. Have you not any propriety?
We have urgency.
Okay. Well, at least one person appreciates hospitality. You must be the most intelligent and cultured of your group. Looking at Yi-Ling.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I do appreciate the good tea, and this feels familiar. Seems polite if we are to ask something of you, that we should offer something in return, but besides food, I don't really know what would be appropriate. Most of us are new here, so don't know the customs.
I hate to be ungrateful, but do you happen to have anything a little bit more interesting than hardtack?
You had the pheasants, but I think you gave those to me.
Shimu.
Yeah, Shimu.
I gave one.
I was gonna say.
Well then. Yi-Ling looks over at the wild.
He looks up at Song. He looks at his pack. He looks at Song. And looks at his pack. He keeps looking at his pack. He slowly reaches in and then slams a pheasant down on the table. Okay. 1 pheasant. Here go.
In a flash, he lashes out with his right arm and then pulls it back into the sitting position, one hand in each sleeve. The pheasant has disappeared into his sleeves.
You quick.
All right, to business then. Your offering is accepted.
Pheasant, good offering.
I'll tell you what. You can sleep here, get your rest, and I'll be sure to wake you up.
And what of teaching us how to wake ourselves?
Who told you that that was a thing?
Is it not a thing?
No.
Is that a question?
He's very bad at lying.
Your voice kind of went up on the end.
Yeah, Loraphyra will just like
DC2.
Question.
Loraphyra will just like tip her head a bit and just look at him over the rim of her cup that she has in both hands.
Well, what for? So you can pick apart the houses while everyone else is asleep? That's probably it. You're scavengers, aren't you? Bunch of roughnecks running around, stealing from everyone, taking
Sounds
advantage
like
of their
there's
weakness.
Sounds like there's nothing much to steal, even if we were.
Which we are not, I would like to point out.
Well, that's an okay point.
Yi-Ling sort of looks at everyone else like, do we tell this guy why we're here? I mean, would it harm anything? Kind of a look. Lots of eyebrows are involved.
We are not here to steal from the folk who are here asleep. We are here to change the balance.
Change the balance. What do you mean by that?
I mean that those who are here are easily victimized because of the actions of one. And we aim to change that.
Do you even know who you're talking about?
I do.
Oh. Well, I suppose she told you, looking over at Lynn.
You were very cranky earlier when bluntness was used. So I seek to not use it.
Petulant. How refreshing.
This man hard to please.
Yi-Ling was thinking, look who's talking. But she only thought it.
On the contrary, the wild is actually incredibly easy to please.
Right.
Give him
The
something
wild
to change.
cat of simple tastes.
You, old man. You've been trying to speak.
I'm trying to think.
Finally, someone reasonable.
What is it that you want?
Well, what I want is not to get anyone else into trouble.
Are you the keeper of these people?
No, I am not.
Then why do you care?
I don't. He's lying. I don't care about them. I've got everything I need right here. Where'd that cat go? Oh, there he is. I have everything I need right here.
But you don't want to get anyone hurt.
No,
Why
I
is
don't.
that?
Because see.
Because deep down, you've taken accountability for those people, whether you like it or not.
Fine. You know what happened to the last one I taught?
I'm assuming that wasn't Shimu.
Oh, heavens no.
Said that you didn't feel he could live up to the task. Kicked him out with quickness.
No, he cannot do much of anything, to be honest. Fine.
Then what did happen?
Oh,
Something terrible, I assume.
well, yes. Well, it's not even worth mentioning now. Now that you've said that, I was going to build it up and, talk about our relationship and how we met and how I grew to care. And then over time, got really, really attached and entrusted him with everything and thought maybe things could be different. And then, he just gets slaughtered and disemboweled with his head put up on a pike outside the Palace of Bones. But I guess I can't do that now because you took the piss out of it.
Seem very specific.
We're very sorry for your loss. We hope to prevent more such losses, if that is an incentive.
Mm.
And the good news is, we're a bunch of nobodies. You don't even have to care about us.
You currently don't even know our names.
Let's keep it that way. So, since you were a bunch of do-gooders here to save us all, and I don't care about you, then I suppose this is as good a time as any. Who's first?
Is there anything we should know before we begin?
Yes, I am going to ask you questions.
About what?
Oh, wow, you really all just hate surprise, don't you? Gosh, don't you know anything about tension?
Keep your secrets.
Anticipation?
Looking around his room, is there anything that indicates whatsoever that he might enjoy a pipe?
Yeah, for sure. Long years of smoking indoors have left tobacco stains on the walls and ceiling.
Drausken is going to walk up to him, pulling his pipe and satchel out, starts packing it, and then offers him some tobacco.
You look like you could use some of
I'll
that.
go first. Let's get started.
All right. Okay. You're all right. He lights up the pipe after stuffing it. Takes a couple of puffs. Okay. All right. All right, sit here. Across from me.
Drausken lowers himself into the chair with that.
And I suppose all of you can just follow along. What is
Guided meditation.
all right.
Meditation, though? Feels like the opposite of that.
All right, everyone, shut up. Close your eyes. Breathe in and out and deep and think about that. Concentrate on how the breathing feels. No, you gotta relax better than that. Check your ribs. Check your chest. Your shoulders. No, don't move your hands. God damn it. Don't move your hands.
Said check.
Shut up. Think about the way your brow feels, your cheeks, So you're scrunching. Don't scrunch. Be mindful and present with your current everything. You need to take this seriously. I see you laughing. What do you think this is, a game? Stop laughing.
Not a fucking game.
Yeah. Don't fall asleep, you. I saw that. All right, now. Ease in to your greatest fear. Don't open your eyes. Seriously, think about your greatest fear. What scares you the most deep inside your bones? And I don't want to hear about a stupid phobia or something. It'd be something that really shakes you to your core. Something that could maybe get you to give up on your belief. All right. Have you got it? Oh, he's got it. I see that. All right. Wait. Breathe. Don't forget about the breathing. I see. I'm starting to see the pain on your faces. All right. Now, I want you to imagine all of that coming to fruition. Now, I want you to speak a word. I'm going to go through you one by one. And I'm going to have you say a single word that represents your fear. That word, you will claim it. One word to succinctly tell you, to express that fear. Old man.
No.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Tea enjoyer.
Lost.
All right, I had my doubts, but you are all getting this. Large cat beast.
Closed.
Closed. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. But it's a good one. Elf.
Eternity.
He takes a long drag after that one. Shit. Okay. It's heavy. Guess I should have expected that from an elf. Terrifying as fuck, that. And you, gardener girl. The one clearly from here, who smells of all of her regions in her pockets.
Emptiness.
Good. Now, I want you to imagine the end. How everything plays out. It's a little different for the one that said eternity, I suppose. But I guess imagine a really, really, really long time. And then imagine the world going on without you. And relinquish your hold on your hope. Allow that darkness to overtake you. Accept it. And then once you let go, speak the word. All right, well, you can open your eyes now. It will be a sensation, as if you were drowning. And what you must discipline yourself to do is to allow the water to fill your lungs, so to speak. And speak. May take a few tries. That is the way out.
Should have known it wouldn't be easy.
Speaking of which, this isn't like I taught you this in 2 minutes and now you're a master. This is an exercise you're going to need to perform regularly. In fact, you should continue now, so that when your body succumbs to fatigue, you will be ready. If you fail to wake up, you better hope I am nearby, or one of your more disciplined companions. Well, more tea, anyone?
Please.
He serves you the tea. This time, he has a more respectful tenor about him.
Yi-Ling is just staring off into the distance with tears crawling down her face, because they are in real life, in case you couldn't tell.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Told you it would happen.
Um,
Thought it would be in my domain.
The fact that it took to episode 14 is honestly astonishing to me.
Come on, Cat. Let's give them a couple of minutes. They leave the room. You're all left there in the quiet with each other.
Drausken picks up his cup of tea and is visibly shaking as he drains it. Well, that was something.
I think we might all agree this is more trying than any of us could have suspected.
Wild just gets up and starts pacing. Don't like. Doesn't feel good.
Something tells me that's a bit of the point.
But all the same, it must happen. We must remember why we're here. We must remember what we stand to lose. Elsewise, it is easy to lose yourself, to forget why you came, to be lost in the labor.
You know, normally I would wonder if someone like you could even sleep, let alone dream. And yet, you spoke often of your Empress's golden city and the beauty of the labor. I don't think you were here when you did that.
I couldn't tell you for certain whether or not I'm dreaming as we speak.
Well, it's a shit dream if it is one. It sounds better than what else lies on the other side of that barrier.
So then, we have the means to cross over. What then?
The same as what we did before.
And
Find
hope
out-
we never have to use it.
we
So
find the
when
law
we use this not to fall asleep. We use this once we are asleep.
to come back.
Will endeavor not to be lost. Slowly pick up her tea and drink it.
Yeah, Loraphyra is staring down into her tea, absently swirling it. Just like a constant little motion around her cup.
And how about you, Elf? Do you
You-
sleep at all?
You know my name. You don't have to call me Elf. But not as you do.
It wasn't meant as an insult. It was a pointed comment.
As pointed as
I-
my ears.
Well, mine too, but that's hardly the point.
Loraphyra looks up with a wry little curve of a smile. The short answer to what I think you are asking is I honestly have no idea. I don't
You
know
may
if
be our best hope.
at potentially a tremendous cost, but if I'm not able to dream, I won't be able to come and help you. There. And I think there is where we must find at least part of what the lie is. We have
Seems
to
like
go.
it's not.
So, I do not have an answer. I guess we will find out when we sleep, or take our rest, or whatever it is you want to call what I do.
Oh, but when we were in Tempest, we met a few of your kinsmen. Your queen has no doubt planted her agents in all the domains. Do you suppose there is one of your ilk on the streets of Akath?
Very likely. Now, whether my queen put them directly into the dream or into here, What is a dream but a step sideways? There was the other person that we saw earlier, but they are not Shadarkai.
And what they are and what purpose they serve is still a mystery to us.
Indeed.
Yeah, everything is still a mystery to us. We have this method, but we don't really have a plan.
We must be doubly aware of folk that seem out of place as well, now that we know that there is another player involved in this game.
The person that I saw was masked and hooded, but I saw enough to be fairly sure that they are not Shadarkai. They may be another member of my kin as far as the elven race goes, but I did not see enough to say one way or the other. And there was
them down.
And there was a symbol that they had, Adam. I don't remember if I knew what that was.
So, it was I want to remember exactly what it was. Hold on a second. Here it is. It was a simple circle with a black interior, and the outer border was a lavender.
So a black dot on a lavender field?
Yeah, but it's mostly dot.
So it's a circle with a lavender edge.
Yes, it looks like this.
There we go.
Oh.
And you do recognize what it's from.
That's what I thought.
I should
just
hope
from the
so.
description.
I should hope so, since you just told us what it is in the handout.
That's right.
The holy symbol
Because
of Shar.
That would be pretty easy for a cleric to know. Between some of the OG goddesses.
Makes sense. And I do actually have proficiency in religion with this one.
Well, one would hope that a cleric attached to the Shadowfell would be very familiar.
One
with
would
Shar.
hope, but you'd be shocked what my clerics don't know.
That's right up there with yeah, there's this guy. He's really important to Christianity. Beard, miracles. I can't remember his name. I'm just a priest.
Valid. So I will pass that along, that the person that I saw appeared to be carrying the symbol of Shar, which is interesting.
Can you maybe explain who that is? It sounds vaguely familiar, but not really.
It quickly scrambles to open the wiki.
You saw the light of my face change, didn't you?
I saw your hands move like.
Get yourself some info to dump on.
Quick info dump.
For those of you that don't have 1,000 hours in Baldur's Gate.
Right.
I remember
Two
very
would have
little
that.
about
That's not
Shar,
healthy.
honestly, out of character. I'm like, I remember some shit.
I have 1,000 hours in Baldur's Gate 2.
Well, to be
Valid.
fair, you had 25 solid years to play it. So, alrighty.
That'll about do it. She is the counterpart to the goddess Selune, the goddess of the moon. She is the goddess of
Heard of
night,
that one.
the lady of loss. She is interesting, let us say. And not one I particularly want to cross if we don't absolutely have to. But she tends to come and play in my lady's domain with death and ravens.
What does that mean for our suspect?
Well, it could well be that... Well, this is entirely pulling a thought out of thin air. I have very little to back
Speculative.
it up. She wouldn't know the term red stringing, but that's what I'm doing. This is pure speculation on my part, but if the Lady of Loss is seeking to expand her particular reach, knowing that my lady is one of the closest in powers to her, it would not surprise me over much if she were sending agents to find where my lady is weak and pull the rug out from under her, so to speak.
If you'll forgive my bluntness,
I would expect nothing less.
she may be the most similar to your lady in powers, but not in power. Shar is one of the eldest and most powerful goddesses out there.
Oh, I'm aware, and yet she does not control the Shadowfell. She may want that. Because she is a grasping bitch.
Yes, she stole magic.
Yes, and then it was taken back.
Fortunate for all of us that she's managed to fail so many times. Unfortunate that she's managed to get as far as she has so many times.
Indeed. And when my lady is already secretive, it is possible that she thinks that she can grasp power there and hold it for long enough that no one will notice. But again, this is speculation.
I don't pretend to understand the thoughts and ways of the gods.
Oh, who can?
I'm just a student of history, and I know what she's done in the past.
Then it sounds to me like we're on a time limit. We do not. If Shar claims the throne before we do, it falls under her demesne. But if we succeed first, we cast it into the mists.
We do have one potential advantage. It is very likely that very few people know exactly how to cut that thread, as we did with Lorinda, as was done previously with Strahd. That is not something that is well known, so it is possible that we still have an advantage. If the agent of Shar gets to the Empress first, they'll just kill her, and then it'll all start again. Yes, we will fail, but then there'll be another chance.
Something else to keep in mind. When Barovia fell, it was an unprecedented event, unique. But now, there are 2 domains that have fallen. And as they do, those that watch the Shadowfell will begin to pay attention. It is very likely that the vultures will come out as soon as the domains start falling. Our job may well become increasingly difficult as our work continues.
Don't you get any ideas there, Adam? I see you nodding.
I freaking saw that too.
The gears turning.
Yeah,
It's not so much thank you for the idea as thank you for paying attention to the plot.
Wait, there's a plot? Shit.
I know.
Came here to kill things.
Wait, you in the wrong game.
I think Dane might have run a game before.
We have
one or
5
two.
DMs here.
Yeah, I think you're the only one who hasn't DM'd, Tanya.
I have DM, just not a campaign.
Then there are 6 DMs in this call.
Sure, I'll take it.
But all of that is looking at the problem from a bird's eye view, so to speak. It is important and a necessary thing to keep in mind, but we also have the path that is directly in front of us.
Indeed. We'll have plenty of time to speculate on all of these things when we're not fighting the clock, as it were.
Oh, we will be fighting the clock this entire time.
Yes, but I will get a good night's sleep when we're back in the carnival.
I may even attempt to trance an entire 8 hours.
We are always fighting the clock, and there's always going to be interference no matter what we do. So the only thing we can do is be careful. So that brings us to what is the next step. Do we all just fall asleep here and attempt to go to the other side to find out what we can find out there? Or do we try to find her here and on this side?
Well,
Something
tell
about
me.
the... Oh, yes.
There's the one with the most recent and pertinent experience. When you were asleep, how did you feel?
Felt like a dream.
Were you hurt? Were you tired? Did you feel like you had been beaten half to death by a vampire?
I don't think that I did, no. And I remembered things at first, and then they sort of slipped away. And only later could I remember it again with Chinan's help.
Well, then I think at least some good news is the fact that when we're asleep, we won't be restricted by the limitations of our daily exertions, at least not as far as injuries go. Which means we can push as hard as necessary while awake, and then try to recover our bodies while we sleep, and instead exert our minds. It's a thought, anyway. We should perhaps check with our host to see if this pans out.
An interesting thought. I wonder how that affects those of us who use magic. If injuries do not carry over, does expended power?
That's between you and your lady, I suppose.
Yes, well, you've seen how she answers questions.
What we do now?
I think, and I am open to discussion on it, that this is the safest place to try the technique of waking up again.
Agreed.
There
And I
was-
don't know about the rest of you, but I got beaten half to death by a vampire last night. So I could use a break.
Nap's always good.
Of course they are, Catman.
Will warn you, everyone on the other side was engaged in working some task, and many of them seem afraid to not be seen as busy. So there's something on the other side watching the people as well.
Lynn, can you
One
shed
minute.
any light on that? Are there those who watch over those who are toiling?
The lady has eyes and ears all over her city. Taskmasters are ever present to know that everyone is toiling, that everyone is in some way contributing to the city. It is, as we were told, your body may sleep, but you will find no rest.
certainly think it is worth it to try to see if the technique works.
And what kind of effect it has on our physical bodies when we do dip into the dream.
Whether that affects everybody, she says, looking at Loraphyra.
Loraphyra will just shrug slightly. So then, do we intend to rest for a full rest? To attempt to recover body, mind, soul, and strength? Or a short dip in to make sure that we can come back?
Maybe
I do not think we have that choice. The moment our consciousness slips is when we fall into her grasp. Whether it be through exhaustion, whether it be through loss of consciousness, or by choice.
But we
All roads lead to the City of Gold.
But we do seek to pull ourselves out of it. Well,
then we had best remember our lessons.
I don't know if our lesson was finished either, so perhaps we should ask Master Song Thing back in. As low as I am to go back to training.
I think he has taught us all he can. The rest comes down to us.
Well, we are still guests in his house. Whatever our course of action is, we need to let him know.
Let me know what. So he walks back in.
We're here to rob the place, obviously. We've done a terrible job so far, but we're working on it.
Well, I fear you're going to be sorely disappointed.
I don't know. You've got a pipe with some fine tobacco in it.
I definitely have some tobacco.
Perhaps I can parcel out another portion before we hit the road.
Well, I don't want to be rude to my guests.
Is that training complete, Master? Is there anything else we should do or know or practice?
Well, there's always more to learn. There's always more to teach. I teach meditation. That is what I have always done. I have sought to master my own emotions. It's been difficult, but worthwhile. One of the most important emotions to master, to control, is worry. Beware of worry. Now, shall I roll out some cots? Would anyone like something to rest their head on? Or will you be moving on? Perhaps you can complete your quest before you need to sleep.
Let's talk of a bell tower and taking control of the bell.
You want to take control of the bell?
It was floated as an idea earlier.
Well,
I think that this will be the safest place that we can find to get some rest and heal. I say, looking very pointedly at Drausken and Yi-Ling.
Now we're fine.
Don't bullshit your healer. That's how you don't get healies. I think this may be the safest place also to test what we have learned. If you are willing to continue your hospitality, we will accept it gratefully.
How does everyone feel about roast pheasant?
Which will make it'll make a fine
Almost as good as
supper.
raw pheasant.
Luckily, the Jiangxi can't smell it.
If
And he gets up and goes and starts preparing.
if you're worried about the custodians, Master, I may know of a ward that will keep your household safe.
A ward? What's that?
A little bit of their thaumaturgy, that which they use to reshape the city.
Well, I have nothing against any of that magic you have, so if you need any Eye of Newt, I think I'm fresh out. But other than that, go nuts.
I need only time and your permission. If it is any payment for my earlier indolence.
You're fine. It's me who should apologize. I've let my own regrets sour my mind. I have forgotten my own lesson. Please, feel welcome here, okay? And avail yourself of whatever I have.
Thank you.
Humbly accept your hospitality.
He gets up and goes to go work.
Loraphyra, a word.
Aye.
Kind of trying to keep his voice low. He's going to let Loraphyra know about being watched by another figure outside before we entered the house.
Not likely that any of the waking folk here are going to cause trouble, but there is someone that knows of our location, and we don't know who they are.
Before we came in, I heard something groaning in the daylight. It could have been a Jiangxi in the daylight.
Well, what's your thought?
I am of two minds. I am not currently wounded. I have used some of my power, but I am not wounded. And under normal circumstances, I need the least amount of rest. So I am of two minds. Do I remain awake and make sure that you are watched over by one? Well, you may not entirely trust me, but you at least know me. Or do I take the opportunity to see if I can step over into this city? With the addition of extra eyes watching us and knowing where we are, that is a difficult choice.
Certainly so, but I'm more concerned about the waking world. You think there may have been a Shanxi around, and I know that I saw someone watching us. If we are to spend the night here tonight, I'd rather know who's been surveilling. Especially because we may not be in a position to readily rise and defend ourselves.
Then I will remain awake and watch over. And we will save the experimentation for another time.
You don't want to investigate first?
He was concerned about drawing down danger, even with the sun up. Remember, he beckoned us in very quickly.
Which may not have made a difference if we were already spotted.
No. I am saying that the Zhongxi, at least, may be a known problem. Known to him. Now, watching, it may be worthwhile for a couple of us, by ones and twos, to go and do some investigating around the area first. The wild for certain. I have sharp eyes and keen ears.
I have a bad back and internal bleeding.
And Wellen knows this land. She knows the dream side of it. And Yi-Ling also has internal bleeding.
If you are thinking to go out and investigate, I will stay here.
I think I and the wild should do so quickly. Not spend more than absolutely at the outside a half hour investigating.
I may not be at my best, but I promise you, if something attacks the house while you're out, I won't die until you get back.
You better not, old man. I'd hate to see the Ravens have to put you back together.
To be a sight to see a second time.
Maybe they'll replace your spine this time.
Someone ought.
Chuckling softly to herself, Loraphyra will get up and go and tap the wild lightly on the shoulder. We think that someone is watching this house. Before we get some rest, we should do some prowling, some investigating. Are you in?
Sounds good.
Excellent. Come join me outside.
And I will.
I'll look at Yi-Ling and Lin and say, we are going to do some searching about quickly before getting some rest. Keep an eye on the house with Drausken, please.
When you're ready, I will raise the ward. Then none will know of our presence inside this house.
Excellent. Have that ready. And I think when Catman and I return, that is the time to raise the ward.
Wait a minute. Have one question.
You have many questions.
Only one question.
Go on.
Earlier, Drausken call you elf. You get mad. You say he know your name. You know the wild name, but you still say Catman.
Would you prefer that I call you the Wild?
That the wild name.
Have you heard of the concept of a nickname?
No. Who Nick?
The idea behind it is that when you have affection for someone, you call them a diminutive of a shortened version of their name, or a silly side name, or it was not meant as a gesture of disrespect, but as an affectionate nickname. But if you would prefer that I do not use that, then I will not. Names are important.
He raises a point, though. With Tempest cast into the mist, the wilds go with him. He is Tempest. He is the wild.
Again, it is your preference. You do not have to decide right now. We have a job to do.
All right. And he'll go.
Step outside and honestly, like, pull the door open a little bit and lean and look around in the field of vision that I can get from the door without opening it completely.
All right, give me a perception roll.
Sweetly. 14.
So you can certainly hear movement inside this house over here.
Sorry, I wasn't
And
looking. Which
top left.
top left? Thank you.
I'm having a little bit of lag here.
You're fine. That's
and
where the fellow was, right?
the fellow?
The person who the weaver?
No.
No, that he was down in the bottom one. My apologies.
He was
okay.
he was here.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking over in the other direction, you actually do spot a cloaked figure near the end of the other bridge and then disappearing into the shadow.
We'll lean back into the house, closing the door a little bit, and like look up at the wild. There is a cloaked, hooded person on the far side of the bridge that is near where we are. If you want to track in that direction.
Done.
And I also heard movement in the house to the northwest of us. So I will go there. And should I require assistance, I will raise the alarm.
Before we step out, the wild is going to walk up to Song.
It's not ready yet.
You have any way of getting out of house without being seen?
Well, I have an alternative route. You could go out through the roof. There's a small window there, but I'm guessing you're mostly fluff, and you can probably squeeze through.
Mostly fluff.
I don't know. That's a jacked cat.
Anything he can fit his head through.
Maybe.
But don't go through the back door. I've trapped it.
What about going down by the big wheel?
I mean, that is outside, yes.
Any doors low down?
Are you asking me if I forgot about a door?
Yes.
I did not.
Okay. he'll check the window that he was mentioning.
It's pretty small, but you might be able to fit.
Okay.
Does the Wild look like he's going to attempt it?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Right now, he's, I think, mostly paying attention to the front door. Lots of ways to see outside. What is the light like outside? Is it like full day, like bright sunlight and everything, or is it like overcast, or is it?
Yeah, it's very overcast. It's very misty, in fact.
Okay.
Like there is a fog bank that has settled upon this place.
Okay.
And every now and then there's like a peak of a sun ray, but by and large it's quite shrouded.
Okay. Okay. The Wild is going to go to Loraphyra. Going to go outdoor, go left, go back around building, and go down under bridge. See if we can stay out of sight.
I will give you a 30 count before I come out.
Done. All right. So, moving stealthily, this is basically what he wants to do. Kind of like that.
I see.
So I'll put him back, but let me know what checks you need where.
I assume you want to move stealthily?
Yes.
Do that.
As the Wild heads towards the door, Drausken's going to put a hand on his shoulder. Remember, quiet, proudly. You're hunting prey. Don't draw attention.
Got it.
And then is going to cast guidance on him.
All right.
Guidance.
I don't suppose it needs to be said, but if you can afford to, you can bring back any foodstuffs you can find.
Okay, so you hop out that door, you make your way around, but there is some scraping. Usually there's a lot of ambient noise in places, but this place is deathly quiet. And on top of that, it's a urban environment as well, so it's not what you're used to.
Right.
But you make it to your desired destination, certainly.
All right. So, I'd like to basically hunker down under the bridge here. And at that point, I will wait for Loraphyra to do what she's gonna do before I move any further. In the meantime, I'm gonna wait and maintain stealth if I can.
Okay. What is Loraphyra doing?
Once I have finished the 30 count, counting very slowly to give him as much time as necessary, I will open the door and step out into the unknown, so to speak. And I will
Loveliest
pause.
life.
I will pause just outside the door and like glance around like someone who is new to a place and getting their bearings, which is exactly what I am.
Roll perception.
Certainly. 13, even worse.
You don't see or hear anything.
Okay. Then I
The only thing you can tell is where the wild is.
Damn it.
His stealth is 11, my perception is 13. That's fair.
Tried. I tried.
You did your
I'm
best.
upset with that roll, man. Upset.
I mean, in fairness, Roll20's been out to get me the last few days, so...
Some BS, man.
I'm not making any particular effort to be stealthy. Like, I'm not being loud necessarily, but I'm not putting a particular effort into being quiet as I make my way up toward that building.
As she moves away, I'm gonna be trying to keep my eye on her the best that I can, either up through the planks of the bridge or out from underneath on one side or the other. Do I see anything move to try to follow her, or even try to maintain line of sight or anything?
Roll perception.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You're looking out and you don't see anything immediately, but then your ears prick up and you hear a low.
From
You're pretty sure you're left side.
okay.
And then you peek out and you see Loraphyra kind of looking around and staying close to that post near that building. And then you see some fingers, elongated clawed fingers, reach out from one of the nearby doors, clutch the side of it, and slowly push it to the side. And there emerging is a Jiangshi floating in midair. And she does not seem to hear it.
Loraphyra! To your north.
Okay, so do you have some way to say that, or are you just shouting it?
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to shout it by just shouting at her. Is that...
No. You had just mentioned that it's like super quiet around here.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem necessary to actually shout, but more like a harsh whisper, like, hey, like, you know.
Okay. So what
How to
happens
shout
is
for DMs.
you hear that, Loraphyra, but so does the Jiangshi,
Sure.
who is like, and then lets out a hiss. And that you definitely do hear, Loraphyra, and you can see it turning towards the sound and then back towards you and snarling. What do you do?
Has it stepped fully into the even the watery sunlight?
So there's no direct beam of light on it. It is seemingly protected by the fog.
Okay. I'm gonna come on. Got some lag there. Back up a bit, not to the house, but more toward the edge of the bridge. Just so that I'm close enough to the wild that I think he can get to me pretty quickly, if necessary. And I'm... She thinks a lot faster than I do, so guess. I am aware of the hooded figure that was on the other side of the bridge, and now I'm aware of the Zhangxi. I also know that Lin can bring up a ward, but that may... I mean, one of them sees us. So I'm not sure if it's worth it to try and kill it. Or if we should...
Let's give you a moment to think.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what Drausken's doing. I mean, you're right by the door, right? Are you thinking about intervening in any way? Are you even aware of any of this?
A good question. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Well, if you are just waiting inside, then I guess there's no reason to know. And I don't know if you would hear a harsh whisper with a closed door.
I mean, he's by the door, but he's kind of by the door with the intent of protecting the house if something comes in. So while he's trying to be aware of if anything's moving around, like, outside, his general notion is that Loraphyra and the Wild are elsewhere.
Gotcha.
And probably wouldn't reveal his position unless he really believed that they were in imminent danger.
And is Yi-Ling pretty much taking it easy right now? You leaned up against the wall. You put your glaive up next to you. Are you chilling?
Yeah, was hurt pretty bad, and then the exercise did a number on her a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
She used to pet a cat and feel better about stuff.
It's a good option.
What about Lin?
Lynn has been going from wall to wall. She has been taking her paper talismans, and one on each wall. She's been pacing them directly in the center, and she has been carefully measuring to make sure each talisman is at its perfect cardinal direction relative to the center of the house, to make sure they are equidistant from one another from the cross facing. There's one north, one west, one east, and one south, and then at the table in the center, she's going to lay down one last talisman, which she will need to ignite in order to raise the ward.
All right. So, what is the signal that you're looking for?
To raise the ward as soon as everyone's back inside.
I see. Okay. Got it. So the Zhangxi is probably, it looks like it's going to come right for you, Loraphyra. What is your response?
I want to glance over at the far side of the bridge. Anyone watching might think that I'm looking in the direction of where the Wild's voice came from, but I'm looking to see if I can spot that hooded person.
I see. Give me a perception roll.
That's more like it.
Thank God.
What's the point of a 7 in perception if you can't roll double digits?
Right.
Okay. So you do spot this person as they are near the house to the east, just across the bridge at the southern end of it.
I see them. Okay.
But now I need you to roll initiative.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Nice. Got the 16.
Okay. So, despite your focus, both of you actually get to move first.
Nice. All right.
What does the wild do?
All right. I am actually thinking about what Drausken said. He told me to try to play it quiet. So I'm actually going to try to move stealthily to here and crouch down behind these stairs. And I'm going to ready the attack action if the Jiangxi gets within range.
Okay, so you're at kind of a lower position there.
Mhm.
So it's not a great attack position. There will be penalties involved.
Okay.
On the other hand, you're also, unless they're right up on you, it's pretty defensive as well.
Right.
So, ranged attacks have pretty much nothing on you at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, so the wild readies in action. Loraphyra, what do you do?
I am going to use my action to use thaumaturgy to drop a sudden, like, sharp sound behind the Jiangxi, because that is within the 30 feet, to try and get its attention that way.
Okay.
I would like it to imitate the bell that we heard.
I see. I'm going to roll a check for them. What is your spell save DC?
That is 15.
Okay. Okay. So with that, it does turn around just for a moment, or rather it will. What will you do with that? Are you going to are you going to move when he turns? Like, what are you trying to do?
With the distraction, I want to look down at the wild and say, discretion is the better part of valor, and make for the house.
Okay.
So yeah, basically like as soon as that sound goes off, I can't like ready a movement, but as soon as the sound goes off, I want to book it into the house.
Okay, go ahead and move.
Okay. I'm dealing with some lag over here. I apologize.
All right, the Jiangxi on its turn turns and investigates. It takes a look around.
Also, I apologize. I don't have vision on the wild, so I can't see what's happening out here unless I'm out here.
And then it moves this way. It doesn't seem to have seen Loraphyra. The wild, on the other hand, he's right up on you. But he actively was looking around. The wild, what do you do?
All right. So well, he definitely sees me. So let's try to grab him. actually, if I make an attack, I get to try to grapple for free. So let's do that. Regular claw. There we go.
Okay, so that 24 will certainly hit.
Okay, so that's 8 damage, and here's for the grapple. Oh!
Nice.
Well, I rolled a 6.
Oh!
All right. So you grab this thing after plunging your claws into its arm.
And then...
Just like when I accidentally step on my cat, and then it puts all 4 claws into my thigh.
There you go. So, with that, holding on tight, I'm going to just bear hugging it. I'm going to kick off the wall and just drag it bodily into the water. I'm going to go in with it.
Interesting. Okay. You grab the Zhangxi, you throw him into the water.
I've heard that
And
vampires aren't fond of...
the lag is awful. I don't know why it's so bad right now.
I suspect everyone is online playing right now. Because it is a totally normal Tuesday.
Because it is a totally normal Tuesday. Oh my god. Okay. All right, so you've dragged the Zhangxi into the water. Now what?
What does the water seem to be doing to it?
Well, it's wet.
Well,
The
yes.
Zhangxi is quite wet.
Because Andrew, have heard that running water doesn't agree with vampires.
Okay.
In some of the lore, they can't cross running water.
Uh-huh.
Depends on the flavor.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we talking
And
white
then-
quart, red quart, black quart?
Right.
Okay.
So then
You don't see it like start to boil like a snail with salt, right? Like that's not what happens.
Okay. So then we'll claw it again.
It doesn't transform into foam and then a goddess comes out.
Is that you?
18 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, 18 will certainly get through. As and I just want to point out here that this is the cat that willingly dove into the water, so I think it's actually affecting you more than it's affecting
The
him.
wild takes baths.
And
He
swims
does.
in rivers.
No.
He grooms himself. He just told told Aoife not to tell anyone.
I see. All right, so you give him some cat scratch fever, and let's see, you 7 damage.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Loraphyra, as you turn around, you well, I don't know, did you shut the door behind you?
Not completely. I wanted at least enough open so that I can see out, which is justifying why I'm kind of half in and half out of the door right now.
Well, you heard a loud splash. And you know immediately what happened.
I do know immediately what happened. But I can't...
Your plan is now underwater.
Literally. Great. Love
I really
that for
tried.
us. Love that for us. I'm gonna move up to the edge of this bridge, which is like 10 feet of movement. Can I see them where they are?
Okay, so you move outside, you look down within, and you can kind of see movement. Yes, Dane?
When Loraphyra came in, I assume she looked a little bit agitated.
Lauren even.
I don't know. She's not the most like emotionally outgoing person.
I mean, fair.
To borrow a description from another character I play, she's not terribly flappable.
Let's say, at the very least, there was some urgency to her
She was
actions.
moving with speed, but didn't look particularly perturbed, if that helps.
Because if it looks like there's something going on, Drausken is gonna, leap to help.
Okay.
Right.
So then if he looks like he's going to jump into the situation to assist, before she, I've been sitting with one knee crooked up too long and my knee was just like, nope, screw you. She will say quickly, Zhangxi, with the wild, sounds like they just went into the water. There's someone hooded and cloaked on the other side of the bridge watching all of this happen. Such a grumpy sound. And then if I can...
Wait, are we in danger?
Stay here, guard the house, protect Master Yang.
There's a Zhangxi. Whether or not you consider that to be immediate danger is up to you.
I mean, Loraphyra didn't fight two of them last night, but we got our asses kicked by them.
Counterpoint: 3 of you were able to kill one of them and drive off a second. So.
Hell
and
yeah.
2 of us almost died.
Yes, but you didn't.
So 2 on 1 doesn't sound like great odds.
Yes, but did you die?
Nearly.
Yes, but did
That
you die?
means no.
Drausken is going to pick up his armaments and move to the door. He's not rushing out, but he is moving to the door.
Wait, take this. And Lynn is going to hand him a small glass vial that has just a sort of pale yellowish mixture. It's like raw ginseng extract.
This better not be pee.
All right. Before we do anything else, if you want to get involved in this situation, you may roll initiative. However, we will finish the initiative as it stands first before going in.
Yes.
Sounds good. Can I see the Zhangxi and the wild down there at all?
So, yes, at this point, you can faintly see them below the murk. They're not too far down yet.
Okay. Well, it just so happens that Sacred Flame does not give any bonuses for cover to the person that is being shot at, so I would like to try and drop a Sacred Flame on a Zhangxi underwater, if I can see them.
I mean, it's radiant damage.
Okay, I crit and got a 16.
You have a -4 to dexterity?
That is correct.
You didn't remember that from last time?
No, I was not paying attention. I was dealing with emotional damage.
Remember, they're very stiff.
Valid. He makes it because my DC is 15, but holy shit.
Their limbs and musculature are known to be so atrophied that when they move, they just have to hop around on their toes.
Yeah, they're the hopping vampires. We run into them in Children of Fear because screw that module.
Nice.
But yeah, that's basically what I was doing. I could see it kind of like wriggle out of the way, and that's all. It sounds like everyone else is coming out, so I'm gonna step back. Boy, this lag is rough. Step back a pace or 2 and throw a glance over my shoulder for the hooded person.
All right, I was just double checking a rule to see if and I know they passed anyway, but just because I was curious if a nat 20 mattered for a save, but apparently it does not.
It doesn't. Although he is grappled, isn't he? Like, is there anything in grappled or restrained that gives him disadvantage?
I know restrained does.
So he's grappled, not restrained.
Does.
Okay.
So feel free to double check me on that, Dane. You look incredulous. I'm happy to be wrong with that, but I believe that natural 20s only affect attack rolls and death saves.
I believe so.
That may be a 5th edition thing. Older editions, I know that saves, I believe, were subject to critical success and failure, but
yeah,
I can look
Rule-
into it, but for right now, just continue.
I know that I know this. Rules as written, skill checks and saves do not have critical successes. They are
I know skill checks are that way.
yeah. The saves I remember being the exact same way too, because it was pointed out that like if you literally cannot save against a dragon's fear, you're fucked.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
There's no 5% chance to save you.
Okay. So Loraphyra, you smack him with the radiant energy, and you can. You don't see any bubbles leave its mouth when it cries out because it doesn't breathe. But it looks quite perturbed, and its eyes glisten with the radiant light for a moment.
I like perturbed. And I want to glance to see if our hooded friend is still over there.
Okay. So, it. What's your passive perception?
22.
22. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you totally see him still standing there. It just like kind of tucked up against the wall, looking over the side through their mask.
I have the observant feat. It's the only reason that my passive is so high.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. I mean, it's one of those feats where it's like, it doesn't seem cool, but it's cool.
I love it.
All right, the Zhang Shi twists in the water against the wild, and as there are rules about fighting underwater, I think it's basically just disadvantage on things. But I let you get that claw in, so we're just gonna slam. And yeah, so 9 is not gonna do anything. 14's not gonna do anything. 22 is going to hit.
Yeah.
As it struggles, and you are good at defending yourself, but it finally manages to slam you into the wall of the dock or the river in there, and press up against you. It then grabs you by the scruff of your mane and opens its jaws up wide and begins to pull the energy from you if it can. Give me that Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
Very solid.
Very, very solid. So you do pass. It is half damage on a save, which will be 7 damage for you.
Awesome.
And with that, I will now update the order, and it appears that everyone but Lynn is getting involved.
So I didn't want to enter combat, but I had one action I wanted to take.
Okay, what are you thinking?
I was going to hand that vial to Drausken
Right.
as a means of casting heroism.
Okay. That will be fine. All right. So, the wild, what do you do?
So, since I've got the Jiangxi grappled, I want to move this way with it. And I want to hold it and push it up against the water wheel while it's turning and have that water wheel just slam it over and over and over. Just hold it up and like just let it grind.
All right, go ahead and, you're swimming and grappling at once. This is not an easy feat. I'm going to need a substantial athletics check.
Okay.
That will do.
Come
Okay.
on, baby.
Hell yeah.
And you absolutely pull him over, and you set his head up and it begins to get hit by the water wheel, which isn't very fast, but it is heavy. It definitely has a lot of mass. And let's see. Go ahead and give me a 2d6.
All right. Nice.
All right, not bad. As you bonk it for 10 damage. Okay, you still have essentially one attack left. Do you want to give it another bonk, or do you want to, like, try to bite it or something? I don't know.
Let's keep bonking it. It's fun.
All right, go ahead and roll again.
All right.
All right.
We'll just keep holding it there.
It's like, rap.
Hell yeah.
So it keeps getting hit over and over again. It's lucky it can't feel embarrassed. All right, Loraphyra, you lose sight of them for just a moment, and then you see the water wheel kind of moving oddly, and you hear some noise from under the water.
Amazing. Can I see that the Zhangxi getting bapped on the
Yeah,
side?
they're still pretty shallow. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna lean a little bit to just get a better line of sight, kind of shake my head, and then again call down a sacred flame because it seems pretty occupied.
Okay.
Good
Does
Lord.
a 4 save?
You know, it's close, but I'm gonna give it to me on that one.
Okay, very good.
Loraphyra, Loraphyra.
7 points of whoosh damage.
All right, 7 damage as this thing continues to get picked apart. But this is a fearsome foe, and it has plenty. I mean, it doesn't feel very fearsome at the moment, considering what's happening. But I'm
glad that you clarified that. It is very important to know.
In terms of fight, it has a lot.
And I will use a bonus action to cast Healing Word on the wild at second level. I got you, boo. You look pretty hurt. So 8 points of healing for you.
Beautiful.
And that is the end of my turn.
It's a solid up level on that.
Yi-Ling.
Did Yi-Ling overhear this discussion about the window and the roof?
To the window.
I don't know, did she? I mean, it happened right there.
I mean, I didn't know if they was preparing the pheasant in the same room or not, but if so, yeah, she would have heard.
You may decide.
Sure, why not? How far up is the window? And is it big enough for her to fit through?
No.
No. Okay. Are there other windows in this building?
Not ones that are not boarded up.
Okay.
You did tell me she was a big girl.
She is fat. It's fine. If fat is not a 4-letter word.
No, it's 3 letters. You are correct.
I was like,
Yi-Ling is
It was in the 90s, briefly.
You're right.
depends on who you talk to. Okay, so she will she's seen all the windows are boarded up. She's not gonna be able to do anything through them. So she's gonna go outside and glance around, make sure the Jiangxi's like not right there.
Drausken is going to body block her exit from the door.
Pardon me? I need to get through.
He's not going to like attack
Drausken
her
block.
to prevent her from exiting, but he gives her a very disapproving look.
I'm not mad, just disappointed.
She notes it, leans her glaive up against the wall next to the doorway, and will go outside if he does not actually stop her.
I just don't want to get into PvP, but he did tell you to guard the house, so.
I assure you, I have a plan. She says
Okay.
as she walks by. If she looks out, sees no enemy right there.
She's gonna climb the house up to the roof.
Drausken, filled with some indignation, not used to having his orders belayed. All right, Yi-Ling moves outside, and then what?
Climbs up to the roof.
Oh, climbs up to the roof. Okay. You do so, no problem.
I'll put her on the edge so I can be outside still. There we go.
Very good. All right. With that, we'll go to Drausken.
Drausken is going to snarl, like full-throated goblinoid growl, as he resigns himself to maintain guard of the house then.
Dodge? Ready?
Sure.
Okay.
He's just
He's
gonna
probably
get...
going to slam the door in a huff. Just like,
Why I never?
He's just
Oh,
gonna
Dad's
get
mad.
FML just like tattooed on his forehead.
He's such a grumpy old man.
All right.
Now I have to realign the talisman.
All right. The Zhangxi this time is going to open up with the consume energy. So give me that
realign
con
her
save.
attitude.
I mean, technically, you're hurt worse than she is.
My hit point pool is like 5 times hers, even right now.
It's not that much more.
I
All
did
right.
cast heroism
Oh.
on him for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yes, you did. But anyway, that is 13 necrotic damage for the wild, as the Zhangxi drains more of your energy from you. And
That's fine.
it is a little bit stronger. And with that, it is going to, you know what, it's just going to keep, it's going to try to twist and put your head in the way instead. And it looks like it fails to do so. And so then it just goes for a headbutt. And I think that's a hit. 17?
I think so too. Let me check. Yes.
And that is 17 bludgeoning damage.
Oof, I'm down.
And so as you let go, he actually reverses the grip and grabs onto you. And then both of you vanish under the water.
Okay.
And it is there that we will go ahead and take a break.
Oh no.
You're so casual about drowning our cat. Stars and stones. All right, folks. Well, we will be back shortly, certainly within 10 minutes, unless we get to chatting in the break, as we so often do. We'll be back very shortly. Talk amongst yourselves. Have fun.
Hey, real quick, Fleeg just threw 500 bits in the pool.
I was gonna say that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Grace. I was going to say it when we came back from break, but we could say it now. Thank you, Your Grace. We now have 2 in the Deadpool because we had 1 that carried over.
Nice.
So, remember that. And we'll be back very shortly.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I was debating just hitting go live when Adam was telling Andrew to shut the fuck up, but you know.
This is.
I'm like, she's trying to get started, bro. Like, let's get
that devil on her shoulder. It sings so sweetly.
Look, I always have a little nick that says, just go live. Everyone will love it.
Just
It'll
go
be funny.
live.
Just go live.
It's not actually a bad idea.
Your antics.
So,
But hello, everyone. We are back, and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
okay. So, yeah, things are going great. The wild is not only a wet cat, but is everything short of a burlap sack. So we continue with the wild, who needs to make a death saving throw.
The first one of this campaign, I will say.
Don't
For
think
him.
so.
For him.
Oh,
For me,
okay.
for me. I know, not for you. You do it every session.
Truth.
Yeah, I think it mostly.
Boom!
Holy,
Oh my god!
Hell yeah!
holy.
A dirty 20.
Okay. You know what? Do you have a rage left?
I've got all my rages left.
You know what? Because you rolled a 20.
I didn't. I rolled a 19.
Oh, that's right.
Dirty 20.
Oh, did you get the Stone of Good Luck?
Nope.
No.
That was me.
That was you. Why do you get +1 on this?
Because I have. What did I get that gives
It's a
me
class feature.
bonus on? No, I got an item that gives me a bonus on saves.
A memento?
Oh, is it a memento? Did I do this? Is this my fault?
No, I don't.
Did I do
don't think it
Is
was.
it
Because
me,
that happens
Jesus?
a lot.
Probably.
Is it me, Jesus? Am I the problem?
It's,
The chat has suggested it might be the cloak.
yes,
the moth
I think
cloak?
it
Moth
might
cloak.
be. There was.
Where's the moth cloak?
Tempest. Yes. +1 to AC and saving throws. And a death saving throw. It's in the name.
It's a saving throw. Nice.
Yee.
Come on, let him have that.
Well, I mean, a 19 would work too.
Yeah, so it's not a natural 20, so it is a
No,
success.
it's not. Yeah.
It is a success. But on the other hand, you're also not breathing.
Right.
What is your con bonus?
Well, he's got the amulet, so pretty high.
Yeah.
Is it 5? 4?
It's 4.
It's 4.
I've
Okay.
got a 19.
I believe you have a number of rounds equal to that number, or it might be a number plus that number.
I think it's a number.
Drowning 5e.
Is that how long he can hold his breath?
Yes.
Because he can't hold his breath if he's unconscious.
True. Very true. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I see. All right. Well, I guess I should have looked this up beforehand. Sorry.
I mean, it wasn't like you expected it to an edge case like this.
This is an edge case. Okay. Loraphyra, what do you do?
Lose a little bit of the unflappability as I start looking for where the hell they went.
Okay. Well, there's no way you can see it.
Yeah, no, I think my initial reaction is like leaning and looking and trying to see even what direction they might have gone, up or down river. And by up or down, I mean north or south.
Right. But yeah, I mean, the current I am going to say is moving south, which seems to make sense.
Okay.
Given how the wheel is behaving.
Sure. We'll go with that. Shit. There's a whole lot of not much I could do unless I know where they are. So
you have no line of sight. They're more or less in full cover, both of them.
I'm gonna move and dash. To about there, so that I can get to the other side of. God, I hate this lag. get to the other side of the river so I can start like moving down alongside the river on the off chance that the Jiangshi decides to surface. But without that, there's just not much I could do, so that's my turn.
All right, Yi-Ling.
Was I able to get to the roof in time to see the wild get dragged under?
I believe so, yes.
Can I try to track them under the water?
No. You would have to get into the water or have some way to sense underneath the murk.
So it's murky water.
Yeah.
Well,
They're not keeping the river clean. They are in the dream world, but not in the real one. In the dream world, everything is fine. It's great.
It's amazing.
Well.
D&D players be looking at they buttons.
He's been dragged under. Anyone. Because that was the first rule of trying to save someone who's drowning is don't get drowned yourself. And she's very close. Oh gosh. She's just
That's also a rule if you're trying to drown someone else.
Yeah, the Jiangshi don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
So Yi-Ling, this is further complicated. When you see a cloaked figure run out to the edge of the water and dive in.
Round their foe, I suppose they're find that. She's gonna do the only thing she really can do is take out her bow and quiver and like just train it in a just basically sweep up and down the river, waiting for the Jiangshi to appear. But she did call out and let the people inside the house know what just happened.
That was great, Yi-Ling. I'm just inspired, So brave.
Stop it.
You ain't gonna jump into a murky ass river with what's going on under there.
Hey!
Not when she's
Come on!
as dead as she
Not
is.
so bad.
You're unconscious.
willingly.
Junior lifeguard right here.
You're unconscious. Shut up.
Sorry. Blub, 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 blub.
All right, Drausken. The door is shut. I don't think you know half of this. And are you...
I did shout out that the wild was dragged under the water. So.
Do you want to have a quick inner monologue?
Do we actually even know that the wild was because the wild was underwater to begin with, right?
I wouldn't say to begin with. He went out scouting, and the next thing that anyone knew, he was swimming. But I don't know if Drausken ever knew that.
Right, but the wild was
Loraphyra,
fully submerged before Yi-Ling even went outside, right?
I mentioned that he was in the water and that he'd taken the Jiangshi with him, but I don't think that necessarily indicated that he was under the water, because I think that what I said made it sound like, and accurately so, that he had control of the Jiangshi in the situation.
Right. I'm just saying, no one here actually knows what's going on with the wild because he's been submerged for several rounds, right?
No. Yi-Ling just shouted out that he was under the water. She was shouting for help. That much you did hear.
But wasn't he under the water before she even went outside? I thought he was...
No.
He was swimming. There's a difference between under the water and swimming.
Yeah.
They were just underneath the surface, and so they could be made out because they were shallow. Right?
Okay.
As soon as she got out, there was like a beat that she could see them, and then that's what happened. So I think she even saw him get bonked. I don't remember exactly if that was the case, but
I think so.
Basically, the moment he got bonked and dragged under.
Yeah. So anyway, Drausken, you heard a shout for help. What do you do?
I'm going to maintain my post.
I see.
Well, even if I did decide I wanted to go help, I'm wearing full armor. I'm not getting in the water.
Come on.
That is a valid response.
Both the
Yi-Ling-
angel and the devil, they're like, yeah, don't go in there. You're wearing armor. Yeah,
Don't do that.
no, we're in total agreement here, guys.
You know he's gonna die. If you
Here, if
go,
he's
you're both
dead.
gonna die.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yi-Ling shouted in the hopes that Lynn specifically would hear her.
I see.
Okay.
Miss turns into animals. Or something resembling them anyway.
So since we're pretty much at the bottom of the initiative, save the Zhangxi, Lynn, you do hear this. Do you want to act, or would you like to fret in place, perhaps?
Lynn is going to just look, or I guess gesture her head toward where the shout's coming from, and look at Drausken and back outside, and she's just, they sound like they need help.
Well, I can't help them. And if you leave, what happens with these wards?
I can fix the talismans later.
He just bobs his head towards the door.
All right, we're going to slide the door open and get on out. And where did everybody go?
Fine. You go out there too.
All right.
What do
So
I care?
at this point, Lynn, go ahead and actually roll initiative. Okay. So I will come back to you. Stuff happens under the water. None of you know what occurs.
There.
The Wild. Give me a death save.
You bet. Where's my sheet? Where the hell? Sorry. I don't know where my sheet went.
Just roll a 20.
Oh. Good point.
Hey!
There we go.
All right, that's good. You might die anyway. We'll see. Loraphyra.
I am going to run down the stairs and dash to get to the edge of the water. Can I see the hooded person? Or are they like deep underwater?
They're deep.
It's murky. God damn it. Okay, fuck it. I am also going to dive in.
Hey, okay. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Leather.
Okay, not too bad. Not comfortable.
I
but not too
can't
bad.
wear heavier armor, so it'll just smell bad and be uncomfortable when I come back out.
All right, so how much movement did you have left over after that?
20.
20. Okay, so you dive in under the water, and you can see something glistening in the hand of the masked figure. And there's a shine of it, but it's not in the shape of a blade. And it's like a small panel, perhaps. And she, or he, or they, whatever, is holding it out towards the Zhangxi, who is, about to notice this person. What do you do?
I cannot cast Sacred Flame because that is a verbal component. There is not a hell of a lot that I can actually do, but I will swim to get up alongside this hooded person, just a little bit behind them, and try not to get the Zhangxi's attention before they are ready to get the Zhangxi's attention, because I can see that something is going on here. And they're not looking to actively hurt the Wild at the moment. if I'm willing to give up some of my breath, can I see the wild?
Since you dove in pretty well and you have dark vision, I'm going to say that you are able to cut through some of that murk a little bit more easily, and you can see him not floating lifelessly. He is still being held by the Zhangxi in the offhand.
Okay. If I'm willing to effectively give up a round that I'm able to spend under the water by opening my mouth and saying a word, can I cast Healing Word on him with my bonus action?
I'm going to say that underwater you cannot use verbal components.
Okay. Different GMs rule differently on that one, so I wasn't sure about that.
I'm sure they do.
Okay, then that is my turn. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Lynn.
All right. As soon as Lynn sees Loraphyra leap into the river, her shoulders slump. She has a feeling she knows what happened. She's going to stand at the edge of the bridge here. And then she's going to she's going to flex her fingers and feel her claws out for just a bit before she digs each set of her fingers into her mouth and pries her jaw open until it snaps.
Ugh.
And then
everyone
out
makes
comes
the same face.
We'll make a sand
the
roll.
full length of a constrictor snake
Nice.
as it uncoils and leaps into the water.
Oh, cool. Okay. This hooded figure's like... I guess you can't see its face, but it's
WTF, mate?
Valid.
like what the hell?
It's okay. We all make that same face.
Okay. So, Len, it's an action for you to transform, right? Because you're not Moon. So yeah, you transform into snake. You dive into the water. You see what's happening. You see what's going on, and you notice that the mysterious figure is holding up a mirror. All right, Yi-Ling.
Yeah, Yi-Ling is kind of useless in the situation.
I'm actually going to go ahead and reveal the wild again. Sorry. Even though you can't see it from where you are, because we have some people underwater that can see them.
She's pretty much just like scanning the river, trying to see where there's bubbles coming up, and like aiming basically in that area, just ready to shoot at anyone who's not a friendly that pops up. Honestly, that's all she got. She will bonus action activate her boots of spade in case she needs to get somewhere quickly.
Okay. All right. You click your heels, you ready your bow, and you wait for the opportunity. Speaking of waiting, Drausken.
Hurry up and wait.
Drausken's going to kind of turn and look at Master Tang and...
Well, we're alone now.
He comes out. He's like, he's got like the platter. He's like, where'd everyone go?
Fighting off monsters, which is probably where I should be. Are you safe?
Yeah.
I look forward to the pheasant.
Okay.
And he will step out.
All right. Drausken comes out. The Zhang Shi sees this mirror, and it looks alarmed. And it flies out of the water. Lets go of the wild entirely and emerges here.
And
Oops, not the GM layer.
Let's go of the wild.
Okay. That's a grab the token. Let me see. With the bridge there, you know what? Screw it. Do it, but I am going to give you disadvantage.
I am on the roof, so I don't know if that makes a
Yes,
difference.
you are, but you're not so high up so as to ignore the bridge.
Oh, I'm not attuned to the Luckstone yet, right?
If it requires attunement, I would say
Not yet. Okay. Just want to make sure before I. Where's my longbow? There it is. Nice.
doesn't
21
matter.
on disadvantage.
21.
Wow.
Hey,
Chicken dinner. Let's see that.
It's not much, but
Hey,
I said I would shoot whatever was not a
it's on
friendly.
notice. All right. So you sink an arrow into it, and now you can hear it audibly screeching as it looks scared.
That's all right to run.
So it is able to fly a few feet, and then it moves a little bit more, and that will be the end of its turn, and the wild is just now freely sinking downwards. And the wild, give me a death save.
All right.
Positive.
Boom, that's my third positive.
The good news is you are alive.
Yeah.
The bad news is you are asleep.
Yeah.
And underwater.
Oh.
Oh boy.
And underwater, yes.
Uh-oh, Dane.
I could
Oh,
make
no.
it worse if you want.
No.
Why would you
Why
say
would you do that?
Loraphyra.
Okay. If I can see the wild sinking, I'm going to swim after him.
Uh-huh.
My strength isn't great, but I'm hoping that I'm able to like use the current of the river to start like pulling him up toward the surface, even if it means drifting downwards a bit, drifting downriver a bit. And my strength isn't great. I have a -1 in strength. But
Okay.
I am trying to help him surface so that he can breathe.
I see. So are you actually pulling him southward then?
Yes, but
I see.
but doing so to use the current to like help lift up because bodies will naturally float.
Okay. So the wild Loraphyra, give me an athletics roll.
Oh, hey, that's not bad.
Wow.
For a -1 athletics, I will take that.
Since you decided not to swim against the current, we are going to go ahead and I'm just going to put him right here for now. And I'm going to say you also simultaneously pull him up a little bit. Yeah.
Are we able to break the surface?
Not quite yet. He was pretty far down.
Okay.
Even with that check, I'd give you a little extra movement.
Yeah.
To make it cool. But you notice that the cloaked figure who's now discarded the cloak and is just, you see a what is clearly one of the moon elves, or a high elf, you might say, wearing a mask, grabs the other arm of the wild and starts pulling him upward with you. And Lynn.
That elf isn't still holding the mirror, is it?
You have already looked at a mirror, haven't you? You've already looked deep into it and contemplated it.
Last session.
And you did not run in fear.
Right. So how far are the collective from the surface?
So from your vantage point, I would say they're about 10 feet underneath. Are you going to give them a little boost?
Yes, as a constrictor snake, I have 30 feet swim speed.
Beautiful. And what is your
Sick.
strength as a constrictor? Constrictor.
Probably pretty good.
Sanek.
Consphincter? No.
Consnictor steak.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Snicker snack.
15 actually.
Okay, really not bad. Give me a snaky athletics check,
Snick.
which is a
Snathletics.
sentence I have said today.
We have marks in the Deadpool. I will just point that out if you'd like
Just
to.
real quick.
just for no reason whatsoever.
For no
do.
reason.
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping track of how many turns the wild has been underwater. I'd like to re-roll that.
He is drowning.
He is drunk.
He is drowning.
Snathletics.
Okay. All right. So with that, you are able to, let's move you 30. And then I'll subtract about 5 for downward movement. So that's 20, 25. We'll stick you about right there. And at that moment, everyone else breaks through. And this is so laggy. No, here we go. You're all right there.
All right.
2 back. There we go. That way his nose is pushing Loraphyra. It's like nudging.
Nudge, nudge, nudge.
This time the snake boops your snoot.
I got booped. I got booped on a snoot.
All right. So everyone is out of the water at the moment, and the Jiangxi. Well, we're not at the Jiangxi yet. So Lin, you do a daring, slithering rescue, and then Yi-Ling, what do you do? You can see everyone now.
Yeah. She's actually concerned because there was one Jiangxi, there could be more. She's gonna actually scan the entire field to make sure there's nothing else coming out from all the noise that is being made.
Give me a perception roll.
Okey-dokey. Perception. Nice. Dirty 20.
Ooh, interesting. Huh. So, Yi-Ling. You see from this building,
Should I have back up?
am attempting to ping and failing. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Yes, I see.
You see a blue-skinned tiefling peek its head out, look around, and then sneak back in.
Did they appear to be wearing the clothes that we've come across people who live here wear?
You didn't get a good look,
Okay.
but it had a bandana on, that much you know.
Made a mental note.
And then you saw something very strange. Really weird. I need you to look a little bit further south
Okay.
as I ping.
Really weird.
I see.
And for
My half elf I see.
what do your half-elf eyes see? Indeed, I'm about to reveal it.
Reveal.
You see a strange, fleshy creature completely covered in eyeballs.
Oh. Oh, I don't like
Awesome.
that. Is it moving? Or is it
It's
just...
constantly shifting and undulating, and then it moves back into the alley and vanishes from view.
makes a creepier mental note?
The word undulating does to me what the word moist does to a lot of people. It's just, oh.
Undulating is a pretty icky word.
It's a very evocative.
Especially when it's a thing covered in eyes. I forget what the word for that phobia is, but here it is. Here it is, guys. Content warning.
Chat, what's the name of that? phobia. We know you know out there.
Somewhere in the redacted reports.
No, I know the one with all the holes, not necessarily the eyes.
Okay. Anything else that I haven't noticed in my broad scan of the area?
Andrew, I hate you.
I know.
I wanna know.
Weird.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
So Drausken, let's go to you.
Is the Jiangxi still fleeing?
Bruh.
Bruh.
Yes. Drausken, please.
Making sure.
Yeah. Well, Drausken is going to shout out that it's trying to get away. And then he is going to attempt to give chase.
Just let it run!
In his head, he thinks to himself, that has got to be the dumbest thing she said today.
And there's been some contenders.
And he is going to attempt to leap across this gap to try and catch up to it.
You do so.
All right.
Yi-Ling's the one who's grumbling
I have
now.
successfully caused my knees to scream at me. As I'm
Yes,
sure that's
but
probably
adrenaline.
like a 10-foot drop.
Yeah, it's about 10 feet down. But you know, you're on the chase. You know, you're on the mood. Yeah. Your heart's racing. You know, you'll feel it later.
Oh yeah.
Right. For right now, you don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for
I
that.
don't ain't got time to bleed. And he's gonna try and grab the Jiangxi. It's probably not going to go well, but in his mind, he's like, I need to keep the scout from getting back.
All right, roll strength, athletics.
Pull him into the water. It always goes well.
If I pull the thing into the water, it won't have to drown me. I'll do it myself.
There you go.
Okay, it has a +4, so that is a 14 tie. So I think you grapple him.
All right.
So you hold him in place. And he
Tenuous
turns...
grasp on it.
That's right. It turns and screams at you. Please make a con save.
I scream at it.
Oh, shoot. I have to make a con save. And probably a wisdom.
The lesser known hobgoblin scream.
Hey, ain't used to that.
Not great.
Not great. You are going to take 18 necrotic damage.
All right.
Did you count the 4 temp HP from heroism?
I don't know that he ever actually took the vial because
Please take the vial.
Yi-Ling ran outside in front of him.
She did hand it to him. She did give it to you. Whether or not
Okay.
you drank it is a different matter. I never heard you say that.
Well, we will just assume, for the sake of argument, that I did whatever Lynn required of me, assuming that I would be the one running out the door.
Okay. Because I'm looking at your health bar.
Yeah, I am
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, I'm very, very aware of what my health bar is.
So if you drank that, it might be helpful.
It's not.
It's mathematically speaking, maybe I still have a vial. That might actually be better in the long run. Drausken, you are unconscious. Unless you have a reaction. But I think you have to complete something first. Or I think it was, you know what? No, go ahead. I'm like, what did I write?
What was that thing that I said?
What is that thing that I said?
Unfortunately,
Drausken is going to drop.
Oh,
God damn it.
okay. But even with that, the Jiangxi takes the opportunity to flee. The wild is pulled out onto the shore along with the stranger. She reaches out a hand to you, Loraphyra, to help you up.
I will take the assistance. Breathing hard.
With the nose push and the hand, you were able to walk onto the shore and attend to your friend. What do you do?
The first, because I don't know about what just happened with Drausken. I have no idea. I didn't see it. I was focused on not drowning with a big cat in my arms. I'm going to cast Cure. I'm gonna like crouch down over him and put both hands on him, and murmur, "Not yet, not yet, the wild," and cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Okay, go ahead and let's see that roll.
Well, here's the funny thing. He's at 0 hit points.
Right. That's right.
So he gets
Hooray! See?
so he gets 28 HP.
Boom!
We love a good circle of mortality.
So yeah, her hands glow this blue gray as she puts it on his forehead and on his chest, basically doing the spiritual equivalent of an AED.
Okay, so you do, and his chest, heaves, and he coughs out all the water he has swallowed and breathed in, and he remains asleep.
Yeah, I figured as much. I will take the moment to look up at the stranger, still breathing hard, dripping wet. Thank you.
I am glad I was able to be here on time. I have been waiting for you. I had hoped to meet under more subtle circumstances, but it looked like you needed help.
We very much did, and I appreciate it.
She hands you the mirror.
I'll take it.
They don't like these.
So I saw.
So,
What brings you here?
is that a safe house?
Safe enough.
Much like you, I am sent by my lady, and they have business. Thank you for joining us, folks.
Nice.
I will say that, old man. Don't you all worry.
Of course you will. Of course.
I was like
Obviously.
Grumble
counting how
about it.
long they were spending talking. And I'm
It's
like,
like 6,
Yi-Ling would have run
12,
over the roof and
18.
dabbed at him before that whole thing, or during, I guess.
I mean, she has the boots of speed. She can get there in 1 round.
Yeah,
pretty
she
easily.
already activated them. So,
Yep.
we are good, Drausken. You can consider yourself alive.
Well,
feed you a potion. Just
yeah. But now we have 2 people who are going to be in the dream world when we come back. We will
That's
be
right.
back next week, friends. Please join us for that. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much to my wonderful fellow players. Adam, wonderful job today. Always lovely, my friend. And yeah, I'm going to be basically off the rest of this week because I've got gigs going on this week. I am very busy. So I'm going to go and sleep as soon as I can.
The rest of us
Me
just have
too.
Megs.
I am Giga Chad.
She is Alpha Sigma.
Damn straight I am. Or damn queer I am. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us this week. We will see you next week for the continuation of Death. We are starting to go toward more of the Q&C model of the shorter episodes because daylight savings time happened a couple days ago, and Adam is now an hour ahead of where he used to be from us. We fell back an hour. He stayed right where he was.
I was gonna say, oddly enough, his
The one
time
thing we
didn't
get right.
change.
The only thing Arizona gets right.
It's immune to bizarre farmer magic.
Yeah.
You
By
can't
the
grow
looks
it.
of it, may be still the only good thing we did. So we'll see.
No politics, sir. But we will return next week for more terrible, horrible, scary things happening because it's death, and that is just the way that it goes. No, Adam didn't get the extra hour of sleep. We did at least get that one on him.
Unless you didn't get any sleep
sleep
at all, like me.
Well,
Guys, if this game has taught you anything, or at least this chapter, is that sleep is bad.
sleep
Yeah.
is, but it's like sugar. It's a bad that I need.
Right.
But we will see you all next week for more Death. I'll be in on Sunday to play some Vampire Survivors with the Castlevania DLC, which I'm very
Nice.
excited about. Yeah. Get them whippy boys going. Yeah. But until we meet again, friends, stay safe, stay healthy. We will see you next time. Good night.
Bye-bye.